Oh, hey, I am so glad you made it to your midweek shot in the arm. And today's shot is a breath of fresh air. You ready? Let's go. A breath of fresh air, simply put, is a person or thing that constitutes a refreshing change. As you can see, I'm in my uniform this morning, and for those that don't know, I am a pediatric oncology nurse, and in layman's terms, I get an opportunity to take care of children with cancer and their families. So the other day, a parent of a child that I took care of posted a picture that had come up in her memories on Facebook. This picture showed me interacting with her child, and her caption read, "Monique, you were a breath of fresh air for us during Addie's treatment, and I'll forever be grateful." Listen, I read that statement and a flood of memories, a flood of emotions just came to the forefront. I work night shift, and I'd had so many nights and early mornings with this family. They were going through something unimaginable, something that would literally knock the wind out of you. Yet she says, I was a breath of fresh air. You already know. I'm going to our instruction manual, and if you will give me some leeway today, if you'll give me some leeway, I am going to read our verse from the Message Bible, okay? And that's for context. So our verse is going to come from Philippians 2:15 from the Message Bible, and it reads, "Go out into the world, uncorrupted, a breath of fresh air in this squalid and polluted society. Provide people with a glimpse of good living and of the living God. Carry the light-giving message into the night." So just hearing that message, I'm sure you all can see how that verse just resonated with me. I read it and I immediately, I started doing what I'm doing right now. I literally just started smiling because I was like, wow, so there is an instruction for everything. Our instruction manual encompasses everything that we need. There is literally a verse directly corresponding to a breath of fresh air. The verse says, "Go into the world, uncorrupted, a breath of fresh air in the squalid and polluted society." As Christians, we are called to be a breath of fresh air in any circumstance. In any circumstance, a breath of fresh air in this squalid and polluted society. My God, squalid is dirty and unpleasant. Polluted is contamination. We are called to be a breath of fresh air in a dirty, unpleasant, contaminated society. That's what we are called to be. The remainder of the verse says, "Provide people with a glimpse of good living and of the living God. Carry the light-giving message into the night." Listen. Carry the light-giving message into the night. It doesn't say carry the light-giving message at night. It says into the night. And that word into means progression. It means continual. So we ought to start when we wake up. Come on, when he breathes breath into our body, we should use that same breath from morning into the night. Someone can be having what they deem to be the worst day of their life, but when they encounter you, come on, it should be like encountering a breath of fresh air. There should be something about you that provides people with a glimpse of the living God. Come on, when you walk into a room, when you walk into a meeting, when you're in a relationship, when you come across a situation, Come on, man. That by the world standards is filled with contaminants. By the world standard is filled with bad news. By the world standard, there's heartbreak, there's disappointment, there's negativity. I mean, the air is just polluted. But when you walk into the room, there should be a breath of fresh air. A breath of fresh air, in spite of all that pollution, in spite of the depression, in spite of the anxiety, in spite of the things that you may be going through, or that someone else may be going through. When you come around, come on, when you show up, should be a breath of fresh air. Our unconditional love and humble service to others should overcome the pollution. Let me read that again. Our unconditional love and humble service to others. Listen, when I was taking care of Addie, I wasn't just showing up to work. I was unconditionally, humbly serving them in whatever capacity they needed. And let me tell you something, you don't always know what somebody needs. It's not always written out for you, plain and simple. It's not always showing on their face. You are supposed to show up and humbly serve in whatever capacity. You should be a breath of fresh air to anybody that gets an opportunity to encounter you. That is what God has called us to be. A breath of fresh air. We should change the environment. Come on, somebody. When we walk into the room, the environment changes. The environment changes. When light walks in to the dark, there should be a ray. You should look different. Things should be different. You should be a breath of fresh air. Come on, this parent posted a memory. Her child is no longer on this side of the earth. She's gone. She's not on this side of the earth. She's in eternity. She's in the Father's arm. But in that moment, when that memory came, she said, Monique, you are a breath of fresh air. Come on, a breath of fresh air in the midst of chaos, in the midst of a bad diagnosis, in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of not knowing what is going to happen next. But when I walk in the room, I'm a breath of fresh air. Come on, I encourage you. I encourage you to be a breath of fresh air. I encourage you to be a ray in whatever darkness you walk into. My God, our message of love and hope should be a ray of light. Say la. My God. Listen, now remember, this is for you. So maximize this shot of a breath of fresh air. Until next time.